Hi, I hope all is well with you and that you had a meaningful Tisha B'Av and that the longing for the Beis HaMikdash and a closer relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam is greater now than it was before Tisha B'Av. This Shabbos is known as Shabbos Nachamu, taken from Yeshaya Navi in this week's Haftarah, where it begins, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, where the Ribono Shel Olam is consoling Klal Yisrael on our devastating loss. Even when the Ribono Shel Olam has to reprimand us and punish us, he nevertheless shows his constant love and concern for Klal Yisrael. And he constantly reminds us of the relationship, the special relationship that he has with Bnei Yisrael. In this week's Parsha of Parshas V'Eschanan, we have the famous pasuk Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, as well as the first Parsha of Kriya Shema. And there's a famous question that is asked on the second pasuk. And the Parsha begins, V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha b'chol avavecha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol modecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha. And the Ribono Shel Olam is teaching us that all the commandments that he's giving us should be placed al levavecha, on our hearts. Literally, it means on your heart, but it's on our hearts. And the question that is asked is, on our hearts? Shouldn't the mitzvahs be placed in our hearts? And the Kotzker Rebbe gives a very, very important answer for all of us. As we go through life, we have our ups and downs, we have our good days, and we have our days that are not so good. But while we constantly try to move in a positive direction, there are some mitzvos that we are struggling with, that we are unable to observe them the way the Ribono Shel Olam would like us to observe them. And the Yetzer Hara tries to convince us that if we're not observing those mitzvos properly, it's all or nothing, and we might also just give up and throw in the towel. And the Ribono Shel Olam is teaching us in this first parsha of Kriya Shema that he obviously would like us to observe all the mitzvos, but he's patient, and he understands that we're human beings and that we're struggling, but nevertheless we're striving to ultimately observe all the mitzvos in the best way possible. But the Ribono Shel Olam is teaching us in this first parsha, put it on your hearts. Take the mitzvos, place them on your hearts. And those mitzvos that you're struggling with, the mitzvah Hashem, someday your heart will open up and the mitzvos will fall in. Our job in life is to try to the best of our ability, to try to be a little better today than we were yesterday. But Baruch Hashem, the Ribono Shel Olam recognizes the fact that we're human beings, we're not machines, there are no buttons that you can push. We strive to the best of our ability, we daven to the Ribono Shel Olam, and hopefully we're a little better today than we were yesterday, and that eventually we'll observe all the mitzvos to the best of our ability in the way the Ribono Shel Olam would like us to. We have to daven to the Ribono Shel Olam, ask him for siyata d'shmaya, and constantly remember that we only are supposed to be as good as we possibly can be. Nothing more, but nothing less. We have to strive to be the best that we can be. Have a wonderful day and a meaningful Shabbos.